leaders are going to listen more when they know that you're being loyal. If every conversation from you feels like a critique, they're going to lose credibility. And so it's really important that we build trust with our leaders, the people who are leading us, I should say, by showing consistency and then just faithfulness in the small things.
It's not just about you doing the thing. It's that they would listen to you. What's up, family? Welcome to another episode of the Futures Here podcast, where we talk and discuss everything you need to know to lead the next generation. And so we are excited to talk about this subject today.
Yes.
With, of course, Robert Aboitis, my illustrious co-host.
Here I am.
Here's what we're going to talk about: how to lead upwards. And we were doing strategic planning the other day, and one of our team members was like, "Hey, are we going to teach how to lead upwards in our in our levels, in our certification cohorts?" And I was a little bit like, "Why? Why are you asking that?" No, and it's a great question, because a lot of what we talk about feels like we're talking about, hey, leaders, here's how you lead those who are under your authority or leadership, or that you're trying to help become who they're created to be. But what do you do is you're getting all this great, incredible, genius leadership development from us, right? How do you take that if you're in an organization or an institution or under a leader that doesn't have that paradigm? How do you lead that? And so we want to talk about how do you actually lead upwards? And oftentimes, like, some of the biggest leadership challenges we face is not actually.
Yeah, not with those you're leading.
With those that we're leading, it's those that you're under their leadership, which I know is a majority, is a lot of you out there.
We experience that a lot from our leaders, and we hear that from our leaders. Like, man, it's so hard, even though they may have a little bit of clarity and they know kind of what they want or what they've been called to do. A lot of times they're not on the same page with their leader. Yeah,
and we talk a lot about it's like kind of like waking up in the Matrix a little bit, where people finally took, it was the red pill, right? And so you start getting exposed to different ways or healthier ways of doing things, but then you're still stuck in this other system. Right. And so we want you to have the tools that you need to actually lead upward, to affect and influence change within whatever vehicle you're in.
Yeah, and we want to do it in a way that honors our leaders still.
Absolutely.
So we're not talking about being dishonoring to our leaders, but also we want to make sure that there's opportunity, because this is when beautiful ideas come to light, right? That there's an opportunity for you as a person being led to actually speak up when you feel there's a better way, or even more importantly, to be able to challenge what it is that your leader is presenting. But again, do it in a way that is honoring to the person, while also being courageous and being willing to speak up.
Thanks so much for tuning in. Before we continue, if you like the show and want to continue to support us, the free and simple way to do that is to simply subscribe. And so we'll do our best to continue to create content to help you in your leadership. Yeah, absolutely. So this is for you if you've ever felt like, you've ever said this in your head, like, man, if they would just listen, things could be better.
Yeah.
If you've had that experience, then there's a couple of questions, right, that we want to try to help answer for you today. Things like, do I bring it up? There's so many people there. They're like, I'm just not going to rock the boat. Like, pastor will never listen to me, or our leader, do I just submit and stay quiet? What happens if I speak up? Like, am I going to be labeled as difficult? Am I going to be put in the corner? Am I going to be put under discipline, or whatever, the paradigm is? And then here's a big one. I think not only in organizations and churches, but I think we're all struggling with this in our country right now and in society, is, if I stay silent, am I just as much to blame?
Yeah, for the situation or the situations. Cultures, yeah.
And and that's a big question we want to ask. So,
and I think there too, Tommy, there's a big fear, and we hear this from people that are being spiritually manipulated, or actually, I want to dare say, spiritually destroyed by their leaders.
Oh, I've seen,
because they speak up, right? And so there is a genuine fear. Sometimes it is, oh, I just want to be honoring to that person. But sometimes it is like, man, I don't want to speak up because I know that person has a lot of influence. That person has a lot of power, a lot of authority. Well, they have a lot of people that support them. And
Right.
I can't speak up because I'm going to be labeled a particular way, right? So that's a really challenging thing. But I think when we go to Scripture,
Yeah.
there is a biblical foundation for this, right? We see that in Hebrews 13:17, it talks about this tension a little bit. It says, "Obey your leaders and submit to them, for they're keeping watch over your souls as those who will have to give an account." So there is a clarity in Scripture that we have to respect and honor our leaders, that those that are leading us. But then you have stories like Nathan and David, right?
Right,
Where David's king and Nathan as a prophet comes and says, hey, I have to confront him about this sin with Bathsheba, right? He didn't stay silent. He could have been like, I don't know. He's the king. He's got all this power. He's got his authority.
Hey man, you do you, brother. Like,
hey, I saw what he did to Bathsheba's husband. Like, maybe
cold-blooded.
I shouldn't speak up. But Nathan didn't stay silent because out of loyalty to God and out of love for David. I want to be clear about that.
Oh, yeah.
Out of love for the leader.
Love for their nation.
And for their nation, spoke up and talked about the hard truth. And then another example is Esther, right? Esther was under the king's authority, yet she actually risked her life challenging his decree. Now, that's an actual beautiful example of how to use the proper language to challenge somebody.
Yeah.
And it's actually a beautiful example of how to lead up. Because if there's anybody who did it well, I think Esther
would be
did it really well, because the king basically is essentially his idea in a way, right?
Yeah.
And that's the way that you know that you've led up really well, when the leader goes, I've got this idea, and you're like, yeah, that's great.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
I've
That's your
heard that
idea.
somewhere.
But I think we have to hold these kind of two truths that are in Scripture in tension. That one, when we submit, it's a way to protect the unity and the authority and honor our authority. So submission is healthy, is good, it's helpful. But also, speaking the truth protects integrity of your organization, of your tribe, and it also honors God. So that submission and speaking up, that tension, is really, really hard. But leading up basically means we know when to do each, and how to do it with both humility and wisdom.
And that's really that's the space that we want people to be in. So often, especially with Christians, we're always so, it's so black and white. It's either like all this or all, it's all over the place. So it's like, no, I'm going to speak truth, and you're just kind of a jerk, and you burn bridges everywhere, but you're out there speaking the truth, but no one's listening to you, right? There's that. And then there's the other side of that where it's like, well, I just want to, you spiritualize it into doing nothing, and that hurts everybody.
Yeah.
And so we want to help you figure out, how do you lead up with that humility and wisdom. So here's what, Robin and I will go back and forth. Here's what leading up requires. So let's break it down to do this. Well, 4 different things. So the first one is, when we talk about humility and wisdom, the first one is actually humility. So one is, and humility is it's played on both sides.
Sure.
You're leading with humility, and you're hoping that you'll be able to receive some humility. But you can only control your actions.
Right.
There's only 3 things you can control: your actions, your perspective, and who you trust. So as you do that, so the humility part is you're not always right. So you're leading into this going, hey, here's what I see. Here's my perspective. You're offering this perspective in humility. And then part of the submission is recognizing that God may be working through your leader in ways that you can't see.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And that's a huge one. And just going, there is more that's happening that you don't see.
Yeah.
The humility is recognizing that and coming in with that posture. But we want you to understand that your perspective is important. We say this all the time. You're a gift. A gift has to be given and received. So if you never give that perspective, if you never give what you see, it's so necessary and needed.
And sometimes what that looks like, Tommy, because I have experienced this myself, where I made the mistake of speaking up or getting angry about a situation that I didn't fully understand.
Right.
Right.
So you want to be curious in that humility.
So I think what happens a lot of times is we get caught up in wanting to challenge about the details without looking at the bigger picture.
Yeah, that's good.
And so I remember a situation where our leader was asking about something. It was somebody I was working under, and they were asking a very specific thing, like, hey, can you make this thing happen? And I was so upset that they would ask me to do that, we got into a big argument about that little thing. Well, I lost sight of the bigger picture, which was that little thing was just a supporting thing to something much larger. And because I lost sight of that larger thing, I lost it. And I was dishonoring actually to my leader, and I wasn't humble enough to go, okay, yeah, let me do that because it's part of the bigger picture. So I think it's important for us that recognizing that, again, God may be at work. There's a bigger thing here that maybe we don't see. Yeah. And that happens, I think, quite a bit. So we have to remain teachable.
Yeah, and that's a big part of it. So the second is, so first you have humility.
Yeah,
right?
and then
you
have
trustworthiness.
Trustworthiness. Yeah. I think like there's a whole way. In fact, we had a podcast to talk about how to build trust with the people you're leading, but also you have to build trust with your leader.
Yeah.
Right. Leaders are going to listen more when they know that you're being loyal. So like you can't show up day one and start challenging your leader.
Like, this is bull.
Like what? No, I don't,
Bro, like, yeah.
And that happens a lot. As a new leader, sometimes you come into a space and everybody's like, no, this is the way we've done it. And they start challenging you. But if every conversation from you feels like a critique, I'm speaking as a leader now for my people, right? That if they're coming to me and everything feels like a critique, they're going to lose credibility with me. Because now I'm not listening to what they're saying. I'm wondering why they're saying it.
Yeah.
And so it's really important that we build trust with our leaders, the people who are leading us, I should say, by showing consistency, by being confidential. If they share something with you that you're not supposed to share, like don't go out telling everybody, oh man, you know what they told me? Don't the cheese man, the tea, like, you know what I mean? Like hold on to that. And then just faithfulness in the small things too. Like even in that example I gave, I was being asked to do something really small and I thought it was maybe a little above me. Like just be faithful in those little things. And so those kinds of things will build trust with your leader so that when you do have something to say or you want to challenge something, they're more likely going to want to listen to you.
And that's key. These are strategies, what leading up requires. These are the postures really of what that looks like.
That's good.
You want them to listen.
Yeah.
So it's not about you just being courageous or just being right, which is number 3. So it's humility, trustworthiness, and then third is courage. It's not just about you doing the thing. It's that they would listen to you. That's what's important to this. So in courage, like leading up requires courage. Like you have to say what others won't. And
there's risk there.
There is absolute risk there. And so even though like silence may feel, safer in a lot of respects, but sometimes faithfulness means risk. And, and for me, I live in that space. So I feel like faithfulness is just being faithful is risky. It's just, it's inherent in it. It's like, I have faith that this chair is going to keep me up. There's a risk there. Right. And so having courage and that posture to go, in humility, I've built trustworthiness. I've got to share this with you. It's Nathan, it's Esther. That's a huge part of it. That's
important though, because there's an order to these things, right? If you just start with courage and you're like, oh, I'm just going to be courageous and, speak the truth to power and all this stuff, like right from the get-go, it doesn't work because you haven't, first of all, you're not leading with humility and you haven't built that trustworthiness though. I'm thinking about the stories in scripture where, Peter spoke up, right? Where Stephen spoke up, where Paul spoke up even to those in authority, right? There was a courage there, but they had already built, first of all, they came from it from a perspective of humility, right? But also from a perspective of being empowered by the Holy Spirit. And they were able to speak courageously, even to the threat of death, because they knew what they were saying was the right thing.
Yeah.
So you can have that courage to know that, you can know that you're right about something, but it will sometimes require that courage to go ahead and speak up and say it, because there's, again, huge risk to that sometimes.
That's awesome. Now, number 4, kind of this posture and this tool that you're going to need to do this. This one's important.
Yeah, emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
We talk about this, Tommy. You and I talk about this on so many different podcasts, the importance of having emotional intelligence, because in our space, in our urban space, There is so much trauma. We were just talking about it before this podcast, right? The amount of trauma that people experience and that they have to deal with and haven't dealt with sometimes, or sometimes are in the process of dealing with. Like, you can't just treat everybody the same way. You have to know their story. You have to understand their trauma, because that is the thing that is going to help you, even with your leaders, that's going to help you really be able to speak to them in a way where they're going to listen. Yeah. Timing, tone, delivery, like how I speak to you. Like, the worst thing I can do is, Tommy, if you're in a bad mood, that's the worst time for me to come speak up to you.
Yeah. It's just like, bro, I'm stressed,
sense,
dude.
If you're stressed, if you're, things are going on, and or you share something vulnerable and like, oh, well, let me tell them then what that's
you're messing up right now. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Time. So you can be right and still lose influence if you come across as either harsh or reactive, or you just don't have the emotional intelligence and timing, tone, and delivery to make sure that somebody's listening to you.
So again, what leading up requires: humility, trustworthiness, courage, emotional intelligence. Now, here's some practical strategies for leading up.
Because we always want to be practical.
Yeah, you always want to have some tools, some frameworks, so that you can actually go and do this. Who cares if you just listen to the podcast and you don't lead up? We need you to lead up. You're a gift, so give yourself. So a couple practical things you can do whenever you want to challenge, confront, or simply just suggest something to your leader. Like, hey, I think this would help you. This is really helpful too as a leader. You want to be the type of leader that can receive this kind of feedback. In fact, you want to be the type of leader that invites it. Hey, like I literally just got off the phone with Jordan, who's our guy at Reframe. If you need curriculum, go check out Reframe Youth. But I just go, hey, I would love your thoughts about my strategy, how I'm leading, after going to this event, and I just go, I would love you to speak to me. You know what I mean? Like, I value your input on it. So you want that, even if he's like, dude, you're messing up. I want to hear that. So first, affirm before you advise. So this is just a real, like, you walk into the office.
Yeah.
Can I talk to you? Or we have a meeting? What does that look like?
Yeah. I mean, I think you have to recognize and value the leader's vision and effort before you offer your idea. It's just a basic sign of respect, right? I'm not just going to say, oh, Tommy, that's just dumb.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, again, there's ways that you can approach the conversation like, man, hey, I really appreciate what you shared, that vision that you shared.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's great. Can I offer a suggestion?
Yeah.
Right. That right away opens the door. It affirms the person. Before you begin to just advise, just don't jump in with the suggestions. Affirm what's happening, right? Or even just acknowledge the conversation. I think there's just really a bunch of ways that you can do this where it's helpful because it puts the other person at ease.
Yeah. Now I will say, because I know what you're thinking out there. You're like, but what if the vision they just gave is complete crap? Like that, it's like, it's terrible. Okay. How you deal with that is you can affirm their intention.
Yeah.
Hey, I just want to,
or their effort too.
Your effort, like, man, thanks for all. So you always want to, one of the things that I want you to avoid is manipulation. Speak the truth in all these spaces. Don't gas up. Don't be false. Because there's a lot of that in the church. There's a lot of that in Christian circles. We're trying to be nice. Don't be nice.
Yeah.
Like, you want to be truthful. Now, you can be respectful, you can be honoring, but you have to be, like, nice is not a part of it. Like, Scripture doesn't call us to be nice. That's not but this other space, right? You want to be honest, respectful, truthful, all that. You could do that in a loving way. So if their idea is complete trash and you're like, that you are going to ruin this place if we do that, you can actually come in and you can affirm, hey, I see your passion for this place. I see your desire to lead us well. And I thank you so much. Can I give you some thoughts about what you just shared? Like, so there are ways that you can be truthful with what is truth, right? So you want to be honest in that. Second, that goes along with this, you want to ask, you don't accuse. So this is really great. Be curious and ask questions.
Yeah.
Like phrase it as a question. This is the practical use of it. So instead of this will never work, that was the worst idea I've ever heard, you could say, hey, are you open to exploring another approach? Because I think we could reach where you want to go. I have an idea. Can I just share that?
Yeah.
That invites that dialogue, right? And so the questions invite dialogue rather than statements. Like, because what am I supposed to do with that? Okay, you think I'm an idiot. Where am I supposed to go from there?
And by the way, can we go back to emotional intelligence?
Oh, yeah, please, yeah.
Because if you ask a question like that, and again, very well done, right? Hey, are you open to exploring something? And you sense the tension in that person, or they were like, well, why? And they start pushing back on it. You need to make sure that you have the emotional intelligence to go, you know what, maybe this isn't the right time.
Yeah.
Right. Or maybe I approached it the wrong way or whatever. And, you're like, oh, you know what, let me think about it some more. Maybe we can talk later about it. Yeah. And you just let it go. Because so the emotional intelligence at each of these steps, like you have to know that just because, again, you may be right, it doesn't mean that it's the right thing to do in that moment.
Yeah. And you can make that, a quick turn. Just be like, oh, dude, hey, maybe we should just go get something to eat. Yeah. Maybe you're just hangry and you need something to eat. So first, affirm before you advise. Second, ask, don't accuse. Third,
private over public.
Yeah, this is an important one.
This one, if you're going to challenge somebody, and I'm not just talking about asking questions, because those you can do in public. I think even you can offer alternatives. But if you're really going to challenge so here's the thing. Sometimes the challenge is about their motive.
Right.
Or sometimes you're like, ooh, something didn't feel right about this. When it's that kind of challenge, you got to do that in private. Like you can't do that in public.
Right.
And don't try to coax it out in public. Just
because that's a shaming method.
Just remain quiet, take notes, right? Make sure you're really paying attention to what they're saying. And then privately, like, hey, Tommy, can I talk to you?
Yeah.
What you said in that meeting, like I'm a little troubled by it. So can we talk about it?
I think too, another practical in this space is think, your leader's a person. So you can also, if it's like really off, or you're like, dude, they seem really like angry about it, or what, you can approach them in private and just go, hey, are you doing okay? Like I care about the person first. Like, hey, what's going on? Hey, why? Well, I mean, that right there. Like what? Like you just seem really like is everything all right? If you have that kind of relationship, I just think there's parts of that too, like caring for that leader. Those are other ways that you can build the trustworthiness. Like, hey, I care about you as a person. You're not just my boss that's after you've grown into that space. Because if you just got hired and you come off like that, the person might be like, dude, you don't know. I'm not going to tell you about me and my spouse are struggling, or, my kids are wilding out, or whatever the thing is. Like, so again, emotional intelligence in that.
Tommy, have you ever experienced a leader who is bringing an idea to their team, but the way that they're bringing it tells you like, oh, they don't really fully believe in it?
Yeah.
Like they already know there's going to be challenge to it because they didn't do the due diligence and all that. And then they come like really harsh.
Oh yeah.
At you, and so everybody's just like, oh, like nobody wants to speak up because you came hard at them with this idea. And then you start talking about the details of the idea and none of it makes sense, but nobody's willing to speak up because like, oh my gosh, they made it clear in their tone, in their delivery, and in their language. Don't question me about this.
Yeah, I'm just sharing this with you.
Yeah.
I don't want your input.
Even though you might say like, hey, what do you guys think?
Yeah, like, I think you're angry and
But I've had that situation, and again, private over public.
Yeah.
That is not the time to speak up and go, hey, man, what are you talking about?
Just like we would teach in urban youth work, never corner a student, even physically or like, right? Because there's the trauma response to that is fight. Like, you know what I mean? You're going to get punched in the face if you behave that way. Again, you don't want to corner leaders publicly. It's just, it's never good. Right. And so you got to choose your motives on that. Next, which kind of goes into is just pick your battles.
Yeah.
like you gave an example earlier about you wanted to die on this hill of this small part of this larger project. And if we take a few moments to think through it, like, actually, that's not really the battle I really want to fight. Take a moment. And a lot of these things don't need to be confronted right away. Like, take the wisdom and the humility part, just think through it and just go, how should I engage this? Is this the right battle, and the hill we're dying on? And then choose the issues that really, truly matter. And this is important for the mission. What's the larger thing that we're all trying to do together? Those are important battles. Like, colors, logos, like, I think it should be phrased this way, not this way. Okay. Yeah. Like consensus. All right, fine. I can let that go. But I think this decision is going to ruin, the trajectory of this whole place. Yeah. Let's bring those things up. So,
I think a lot of times when our people challenge us in this way, it's because they are thinking about how this decision, idea, or project affects them. And they don't know how to they don't want to come across as like, oh, I'm just thinking of myself, but they are just thinking of themselves, right? And so
that's just reality. That's human nature.
So we have to, when we're presented with something that we know is going to affect us greatly, again, I think I need to have the emotion and talents to go, okay, this is not about me. This is really about the mission.
Yeah.
Yes, it may cause more work for me, but maybe there's another way I can just deal with that, or I can have a separate conversation in private about, hey, I'm really concerned how much work this is going to put on me. Again, rather than just publicly like flailing about it and trying to knock the idea down when it's not really about the idea, it's about what the work's going to cause.
And that's to all this too. Look at through all these other podcasts that we've talked through. When you're building culture, the type of place that you want to lead is one where this is all freely. Like you can actually have these type of conversations in a group. Like at UIWY, we'll sit in there. I can present something as the CEO here and then invite feedback, and people don't have to do it privately because it's a safe enough place where they're like, hey, I think that's not a good idea. Oh, and now I'm curious. I'm like, yeah, tell me why. And then we get a good discussion because our culture here is best idea wins. It's not that Tommy's idea needs to win. It's right. But we've built that culture there. But again, go back in the catalog, learn about that, come take our certification cohorts, check it out.
I think, but one last thing on that time, I believe that most leaders, and let's just be honest, a lot of it, our context is leaders in the church context, who they're lead pastors, they're concerned about how to lead up, right?
That's tough,
I think most lead pastors are reasonable, and they're also not used to being challenged. So I think being able to practice this in a healthy way is actually really helpful to them. Because I do think they want that. They just don't know how to receive it or how to get it.
They need practice.
And they need practice at receiving it as well. Yeah. So rather than just dismiss them because like, oh, they'll never listen, or they just always
don't do that.
Keep trying this. Try these tactics, right? Try this strategy. And if it doesn't work the first time, it's okay. Try it again.
Yeah.
And try it again until finally, again, you're building trust.
Yeah.
Right? You're leaving the conversation where they know like, oh, they're not challenging me, they're challenging the idea, and they'll probably think about it
because they want this place to win.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Well, and hopefully that's the
and I've had that situation happen before where I brought stuff and I've left going, okay, well, I understand this is the way it has to be, and then they've come back later and go, I was thinking about what you said, and I think maybe you're right.
Yeah,
and that's great.
I'm sure that's happened to you a lot.
It happens to me every time.
All right,
kidding.
The last one. Actually. This last one, and then we'll wrap. Is probably as a leader, I will tell you this is the most helpful to me. Okay, not all leaders might be, but this is. So listen to this one. Lastly, bring solutions, not just problems. Mm-hmm. Like I can't tell you as a leader, this is so much help. This changes the whole game for me. So you come to me and you go, Tommy, hey. Private, and you're going, I really think Tom, I loved what you said in the meeting, right? I'll walk through an example of this. Love what you said in the meeting. I have a question about your strategy on the vision part, right? Ask, don't accuse. You're talking to me in my office. Hey, I just wanted to make sure you're doing okay, Tom. Like, here's how I experienced that. You already picked, I think this is important enough to bring to you. Here's my concern. What if we...
Yeah.
And you came with a solution, because what drains me as a leader so much is if people just constantly, hey, that's not going to work. Okay, why? Well, because this, and this. Okay. Oh, so now it's just I have to solve every problem. Like, so I'm just the guy that, I'm Moses that everybody has to bring all their problems to.
Yeah.
With no solutions, like that's overwhelming as a leader. I already carry all the responsibility. I carry all these things. So when you come and you go, I think I'm worried about this, and you come with a plan, not just with a critique, it's game changing.
Yeah.
So, and that shows me that you thought it was important enough for you to think through it,
right,
and bring something instead of just flippantly like, well, that's a problem. It's never going to work. Dude, that's such an energy drain on any team, on any organization. Yeah, I want your critique of it because I want best idea, but can you put some energy and bring a solution too? That one's huge for me.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue that if you're telling me that's not going to work and can't tell me what will work, then you don't know that it's not going to work.
That is so good. Yes, right? Yes to that.
So leading up, I mean, again, I think what we're trying to communicate is that it requires the right heart posture. Like it's not about getting one up on your leader. It's not about being right. It's not about like showmanship and, oh, I'm smarter than you. I should be leading, not you. Right. It's none of that stuff. It's really the idea. I think I've shared this in a podcast before, Tommy, that I've always taken the approach that my job is to make my leader look good. Whatever it takes for me to make them look good, because if they look good, I look good, right? Yeah. And so I'm never trying to one up the people that I work for. I'm always trying to, either support them or put them in the best light, even if that means giving up my ideas and them owning them as theirs. I'm okay with it. Now, I'm grateful that most leaders haven't done that to me, but I have had people do that. And again, I'm okay, because at the end of the day, what I care about is
the Lord
everybody wins. Everybody wins, right? So I think we need to ask ourselves, again, am I trying to build my own platform or advance God's mission? Do I pray for my leader as much as I critique them?
That's a big one, man.
That's a huge one.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be praying for our leaders, and I don't know what I see. And granted, it's social media, is more critique than prayer for them. And
I've experienced, as a leader here, I experienced that. I experienced the prayers of this place.
Yeah.
So that's a big one.
And then again, even if you don't have your idea chosen, are you still willing to submit?
Yeah, that's good. So we hope this has helped you guys as far as what it looks like in wisdom and humility. We gave you some postures, some things you're going to need, and then some practicals on what that looks like in the conversation. So we hope this has been helpful for you. So please go out there. Practice it. Be courageous. Leaders, if you're the leader, would you invite this, so that you can practice as well, hearing and receiving that feedback? And so we hope this has been helpful for you. We'll see you guys next time on the Futures Here podcast. Make sure that you subscribe, they share, that you like. And also, man, we invite you, go check out uywi.org. We have full leadership cohorts that we invite you in on. So sign up for that. You can get all this kind of goodness in a very clear way with a cohort, and you'll grow as a leader. We'll see you guys next time.